Today on DNVR Buffs Live, could it be Juju time? Should it be Juju time? And if it's not Juju time, then when is Juju time? Let's get it. Let's go.
Squad. Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores, is DNVR Buffs Live. We had Wednesday press conferences today. We're going to play fill in the blank, but we're going to start talking about our guy, Julian. Did you want to finish your thought on sporting events?
I just want everyone to know that my dream in life is to be watching a sporting event where they have to say, like, guys, we're taking the game to tomorrow. It's too late. Or like, we can't go any longer. It's unsafe. Like, I turned on the World Series game the other night when it was in the 17th inning because I was like, at what point do they have to say mercy? Like, the 19th, the 20th, the 21st? Like, eventually you have to say, like, this isn't right. It's 3 a.m. or something. Like, we have to stop. So one day it's going to happen, and I'll be there.
What sport is that most likely to happen with?
Baseball.
Probably baseball, yeah. Hockey...
I mean, it could, but
I think I saw there was a hockey game, a high school hockey state championship. Went into like 6 overtimes or something.
Like full 20-minute OT periods.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So that could happen.
Like even like college football, right? With like the overtime rules of like we got to go for 2. Like what if they just keep getting it? Just keep getting 2-pointers.
I know.
And you just go back and forth all night.
It's so unlikely for that one because the opportunities to win arise over and over and over again. Whereas soccer or hockey or baseball, then the opportunities aren't there as often.
Yeah. Shout out to that LSU Texas A&M game from 2018.
Yes.
What was that, like 13?
8 or 9?
Okay.
But that's the one that basically changed the shitty overtime rules that we have now.
Thanks.
So
Just play football.
I agree. I've always thought that, especially in the NFL in the playoffs, they should just play a full extra quarter.
Oh.
And then whoever's leading at the end of that quarter wins the game.
Would you consider shortening a quarter?
No.
Okay.
It's the playoffs.
I'm in on the college rules from the first 2 overtimes without the 25-yard line. So you get a possession,
kick
you go
off or whatever, and
like tug of war almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your suggestion again? You said
just play a full extra quarter
for the NFL,
so 5th quarter,
especially in overtime or in playoffs.
Isn't that pretty much what they kind of do now?
It's close. I mean, that's how teams play it now.
Right. Like you just get.
I mean, that's
an extra 10
exactly.
minute
That's
quarter.
what I'm saying. Just play the whole quarter. We're going down to 2 minutes anyway, especially if the first team scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then if the other team responds too, it's like, I mean, that's basically what you're doing at that point.
Okay, we can move on.
What's up, chat? How's everyone doing today?
Also, Mitchell asks, how do I become a member? If you want to become a member on YouTube, you can go to our homepage and scroll over, and I think there's something called memberships on there, and then you can choose between 2 levels of the supporter club. If you want to read all of Scotty and Jake's great articles over at thednvr.com, well, then go to thednvr.com and become a diehard. I think you go to thednvr.com/diehard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think you can just scroll down on this show on your phone or desktop, wherever you're watching on YouTube, and hit join.
Okay.
And I think you can become a member.
There you go.
All right, we'll get to fill in the blank. We'll get to press conferences. Today we had Arden Walker, Keaton Wade, and George Helow on the podium. Let's do the Julian thing, though. We're 4 games into 4 games left in the season now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a home game in front of you. It's homecoming. I mean, I'd imagine Folsom, of the other home game remaining, the ASU game, this is probably going to be the most turn it's going to be for the rest of the season, right? Mm-hmm. You still have hope of making a bowl game this week, too. Is this a spot that you would put Julian in as a starter?
Yeah, this is the game that I targeted after the TCU game when we were having that discussion, because that was Caden's 3 interception game up until this last week, his worst game of the season. And it was kind of that conversation of like, okay, at what point do you do it? It's tough because Caden in the second half of Iowa State was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's no longer about that. It's not like really about like a quarterback competition or anything like that. It's more about like finding out what you have in Juju, allowing him to shake some of the early jitters, whatever it may be, off now rather than later. And then 3, trying to give this team a new spark. Someone pointed out today, they had a great point on Twitter. Sorry, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, remember back to before the season when all of the receivers were talking about how mature Juju is for his age and what a great football he throws and all that stuff. Like, back then, when it was a competition in camp, people were really high on him. So it's not like, oh, he's not ready or something like that. Like, he's built for this. And so I think it's time to go to Juju, give him an opportunity, and potentially give this team a spark. And that has, like I said, it's less to do with Caden than it is with the state of the current season.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the time. I think it's really one of a few ways, maybe the only way, that you can kind of change the narrative on this season to a positive one. You know, you have 4 games left. Mm-hmm. You got to win 3 of these Final 4 to become bowl eligible. And I think at this point, there's a large enough sample size out there on Caden leading this football team, being the quarterback of this football team, that expecting this team as currently constructed with him leading the way to win 3 of the next 4 is a bit of a fool's errand, I believe. Like, I think, know what this team is at this point with Caden kind of running the show. And especially with somebody who you poured so many resources into to get this young man to commit to your football program and your school and your university. It's time to give him an opportunity. He got his feet wet a little bit potentially in that Delaware game over those 2 series. And, obviously things happened with Salter and Staub, and we all know how that all went down. But now with 4 games left and us kind of knowing what Caden is at this point, again, leading this team, I think it's time. And you got to see what you have in this young guy, because especially when you consider the conversation that you brought up after the game on Saturday and talked about a little bit yesterday in terms of donors and whatnot, and having something to believe in. And when you're asked to give more, you have a reason, something to point to, the future. And that would be Julian Lewis. That is Julian Lewis. He is the future of this program. And I think the earlier, the sooner you can get him out there and more comfortable, because you don't want to start this process over again week 1 next year where you're unsure about the quarterback spot because of his youth, because of his inexperience. These 4 games are a perfect runway into this offseason, into the 2026 season, with Julian as the leader. And, people are saying he might not be ready because we haven't seen him. And that might be the case. He might not be ready. But we got to see.
No one knows, though.
Nobody knows.
And
to assume he's not ready just because we haven't seen them, I think is a fool's errand.
100%.
Because clearly this staff, Coach Prime included, has really honestly given Caden every opportunity.
Yes.
To go and take this job and this team, by the horns, so to speak. And he just hasn't done it. And now we see it almost every position. You make a mistake, you come out the game. You're not playing well, you're not performing well, you come out the game. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, that has to also apply to the quarterback. The quarterback isn't getting it done. You've seen Staub, you've seen Caden. Let's see what Juju got.
It's funny because the way that we feel about Shedeur, where like people over there are saying like he's not ready, and we're like, bro, he was literally born ready, is how people that know Juju really well feel about him.
Yeah.
They're like, if you're always waiting for the perfect time when someone's ready, you could just wait forever. People that know him and watched him play in high school and beyond are like, just give him the rock, man. Ball up top. Give it to him. And I think you made the most important point here, Scotty, is like setting the stage for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's donors or just fans, like
Facts.
if you go out there and Juju doesn't even have to like rescue the team and take you to a bowl game because he's not going to go out there and fit runs.
Right.
But if he shows flashes, then you have the narrative
Yes.
to be able to say like, hey, look, that kid's special.
Yeah.
We got to be able to have the resources to put what we need around him. Hey, this is what we have to be excited about going into next year as a fan base. This is what we can use in recruiting
Exactly.
to pitch to young guys. Hey, look, this is the guy you're going to get to play with. So it goes way beyond just X's and O's and more. And that's why I said at the beginning, like it's more about the state of the current season.
Facts.
Where to me, this is your last kind of ace up your sleeve that you get to pull out and say like, hey, maybe this works. And even if not, hopefully it gets us a little bit of momentum in these other areas.
Right. I mean, in my opinion, it's been Juju time. So for a variety of reasons now, more than ever, I think it's time though. What we talked about yesterday in terms of, and you mentioned it today, RK, just the team needs a spark. This game's kind of your last gasp in terms of bowl eligibility. I mean, yes, it's still technically possible, but it's one of your 2 remaining home games, right? So, and the other home games being ASU, who is a better football team than Arizona and a bigger contender at this point in time. So, I think that if you're going to make a change, you have to do it now. If you have any hope of getting a bowl game, and people are saying, he's going to play the last 3 games for the red shirt, and we always think of red shirts in that way. But I mean, you brought it up, like just start him against Arizona, have him play these next 3. If K-State, especially if they're out of bowl contention, just put Staub or whoever in there to round out the season because that game's going to be lost anyway.
Totally.
Especially if they're not in bowl contention.
And if they are, that means things have gone really well.
Yes.
They've won 2 out of 3.
And just let him play at that point.
Of course. Think about what we're talking about with Juju's red shirt. We're talking about the year 2030.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
come on. Imagine 5 years ago
For sure.
talking about saving the red shirt for the quarterback. That would have been in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good perspective.
That's crazy.
No doubt.
I totally agree.
It's time. And especially like talking about the future and, recruiting and just reinvigorating a fan base. There's really nothing to point to right now with this team where it's like, we feel optimistic about that moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like aside from obviously, Coach Prime still being here and you still got some young guys like Seat and whatnot. But other than that, like a lot of the optimism has been sapped.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens when you lose, by 46 points on the road in that type of fashion like we saw on Saturday. But this program needs kind of something to hold on to right now. And that might sound crazy to put, hope, so to speak, into, a true freshman, an 18-year-old, but
Programs do that all the time. That's not unheard of.
That's where I was going to go. We are literally seeing it throughout the country.
Yeah.
That fan bases are being reinvigorated by 18-year-olds, true freshmen in college. And they're not only, living, they're thriving in these situations. Like multiple of these guys across the country. So I personally believe that Juju is one of those guys. I think all of us up here do. And again, you didn't pour all those resources into him and his family over the last year or so to not give him this opportunity when it's clear that it's time to give him this opportunity and see what he does with it.
Yep.
Is it last game of the season is at K-State?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If you only are going to play him 3 more games, if you start it this week, 2 of those 3 are at home.
For sure.
Exactly.
If you start it next week, he starts at West Virginia.
Yes.
All the way across the country in what for them will be a morning game, which is kind of odd. And then Arizona State and then Kansas State.
Yep.
Back on the road. So this is the week to do it.
It just makes sense. I mean, just point blank what you said. You'd rather give him 2 home games as opposed to 2 road games. That's what it comes down to for me, at least.
Sure, and hopefully he wins the 2 home games, and we have a fun narrative going into the last game of the season, which is, hey, here's Juju's chance to really write the first chapter of the story.
No doubt.
For sure. And what Bird's saying, what it does for recruiting right now, too. Like, if you think you need a boost with this recruiting class or anything, if Julian goes out there and plays, I think you're going to open some eyes and potentially have more options than you would if he doesn't play the rest of the season.
For sure.
Let's take our first break and shout out the homies over at Game Time, the place to get all your tickets for not just sporting events, concerts, theater, whatever's going on in your city. Make sure you check out Game Time. But yes, it is October, the tail end of October, but everything's in action right now. We got World Series, college football, NFL, NBA, and NHL. No better place to go than Game Time. You can check out their Game Time picks feature, see their view right from your seat, and also just see the quickest and best deals available right then. I mean, as you know, with Game Time, you can wait up until the game actually starts until you get your tickets. So take all the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off at Game Time. Tap ticket, go download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game time. Also, shout out to our friends over at Kerr's Lot. Tailgate time back this week.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. Really perfect tailgating time, especially at this point of the year. Tailgate will start around 2:00. So you'll get the meat of the day at the tailgate, the heat of the day out at Benson Field, and we will be having some Kerr's Lights that day. So come hang out with us, enjoy some ice cold Kerr's Light, and if you don't want to come there, well, you can just have it sent straight to your door by going to kerslight.com/DNVR. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful beer. It's the best when you're choosing to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right. Let's get to press conferences from today.
I think just one more quickly, just wrapping up Juju. I think Minister Philly makes a decent point. He goes, plus there's
another
an
good point.
Advantage with Juju is there's no college game film for Arizona to study on him, aside from obviously those 2 series against Delaware, which is a good point. And it's something Arizona defensive coordinator literally said this week. He said that he's preparing for 2 quarterbacks for Colorado this week, and they would be Keaton, Salter, and Ryan Staub. So that would be a a wrinkle. Yeah. The Arizona defensive coordinator said that this week, that they're preparing for both Keaton and Ryan Staub. So and they're preparing to see both. So that would be a wrinkle that Arizona, a really good defense, a really good unit, wouldn't necessarily be prepared for. So it could just be another potential reason to go with Juju this week.
For sure. All right. What?
There's a comment that I was deciding whether or not I wanted to respond to, but I don't.
Don't worry about it. Okay, last time I promised we're going to talk about this Utah game, but here's Coach Helow. He's the run game coordinator. They got ran on for 400 plus or whatever. So here's what Coach Helow had to say. He actually took a lot of responsibility for it. Changes to practice. Just final thoughts on the Utah game.
It was embarrassing, something I've never been a part of before. We've moved past it. We got to own it and correct it and get better. Up front, we got to strike blocks better. When teams are starting to run the quarterback, you're playing 11-on-11 football, so we got to win off a block. And then, plays that should be a gain of 8 or 10, which are going to happen, we've got to tackle, run our feet through contact, get the guy on the ground. So those plays that go for 60, when you have 4 of them, that's, well over 200 yards right there on 4 plays. And, everything that kind of started at the beginning of the game that could have gone wrong, went wrong. And we've got to move past it, bury it, make the corrections. We've had really good talks as a defensive staff about what we need to do moving forward. We're going to do that and play really good these next 4 games. We changed up the schedule of practice this week. We just got done with a walkthrough today. All right, so going through, where's our gap, what's our assignment, how are we playing this technique, and running through more calls, all right, and getting guys in the right spot. So we actually practiced on Monday and Tuesday, did a walkthrough today, and we're going to practice Thursday and Friday. I think it's disappointing, right? We felt really good going into the game, and then like we said in the first half, and y'all were there, we weren't clicking as a team, as a unit. And I know Coach Prime falls on the sword. It's all on him. It's all on everybody. When something happens like that, it's all on me. I'm the run game coordinator. I have a job to do. Okay, we didn't get it done. All right, and I'll speak for myself. I'm responsible for that. When you're hired to do a job, you do your job in the real world. When you don't do your job, there's consequences of that. So I appreciate Coach Prime, and I know he's the leader of the program, and he falls on the sword for everything, but it ain't on Coach Prime. It's on everybody collectively that he hired to do a job here to get it done.
There you go. What do you think about that?
It's exactly what you want to hear in an answer. I'm pretty far past the like evaluating what a coach is saying in a presser, whether that's what you want to hear, that's what you want to, what you don't want to hear.
Right.
It doesn't really mean all that much, but it is nice to hear a coach just say like, "Hey, like I didn't do my job.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be better at it." I think that appeases a lot of people. That's what they want to hear. So for that part, Coach Helow did a great job.
Yeah, just appreciate the accountability, right? You know, everybody, a lot of people blame, so to speak, Coach Prime for what happened on Saturday, and rightfully so to a certain extent. Like he is the head man. He is the head coach of a program that was thoroughly embarrassed on Saturday night. But you appreciate an assistant, a position coach like that, George Helow, saying, "That's on me. Mm-hmm. I am the run game coordinator. I am part of the reason we gave up 400 plus rushing yards, 150 of them on the ground to a true freshman quarterback making his first career start." And that's what you want to hear. I also like to hear that we heard it there from Coach Helow that they've switched up, you know, the practice schedule a little bit, you know, this week. Obviously, last week, they kind of opted for more of a physical week of practice where they were hitting throughout the week. Quarterbacks were live throughout the week because they wanted to set a stage of how physical that game against Utah was going to be. That plan ain't work, clearly. And now this week, they're kind of going, I would say, a bit in the opposite direction, right? The first 2 days of practice, Monday, Tuesday, they had kind of a light walkthrough today. They're practicing again tomorrow before, you know, Friday, which is always a light day, the day before a game. What are your thoughts, bro?
This is a classic case of causation versus correlation. I do not think that the physical practice was really the reason why the team was completely unphysical in the football.
100%.
Oh, no, me. Did it sound like that's what I was saying?
No.
Okay,
no,
yeah, okay. Yeah. I was just saying that's what they did, and yeah, they changed it.
I don't. To me, that's just change for change's sake.
Sure.
But at this point, change for change's sake is not the worst thing in the world. You just got to try things. Like,
yeah,
I think that they should maybe try practicing at the time of the game throughout the entire week,
right?
Every week,
yeah,
regardless of what time the game is. But who knows? So, I appreciate Coach Helow taking responsibility for it. He also said, like, Coach Prime says, it's all on me, and it's really all on everyone. And
yeah,
I agree with that as well. You just don't lose like that unless everyone messes up.
Yeah. And that's a tough position to be in, going up there at the podium after a game, after a performance, after a loss like that. So I commend Coach Helow. I commend Arden and Keaton for, you know, kind of facing the music, so to speak, in the public for a complete team failure and whatnot. So,
I mean, you got to remember where George Helow came from. I mean, he coached with Nick Saban at Alabama. He was, you know, at FSU when they were winning national titles and stuff. Like,
yeah,
this is probably a massive shock to him, honestly. Like, I don't know if he's ever had a team really get run on like this. I don't know if the Buffs.
He said that has never been a part of anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's a humbling moment, I'm sure, and I appreciate Coach Helow kind of stepping up in the face of that moment. But look, and we'll get to it a bit later when it comes to personnel, and we've talked about it. We talked about it yesterday, how, you know, the offense is what it is, and there's a lot of issues there, but it's a talented unit. The defense, though, is just so depleted. And when we get to him talking about Quincy Wiggins, we can get into it in further depth. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really tough situation for those guys on defense right now, I think.
Yeah, and that's something I was actually thinking about when you and I were kind of going back and forth about like whether they're better than they showed on Saturday or not. And you said, like, well, it's possible to regress. And after the show, I thought, like, well, I should have brought up the injuries.
Yeah.
Like,
part of it.
It certainly plays a part in that. Real quick, someone in the comments said, like, Signetti doesn't practice the players hard, destroys the body. There's a million different theories on this. But I'll never forget when Dan Campbell took over the Lions. They had Hard Knocks. And he huddled the players up like before, I think, the first practice of training camp. And he was like, look, boys, like, I would love to protect all of your bodies and practice super light throughout this entire training camp. And I would do that if I believed we could get where we needed to go. while doing that. But I just don't. We have to become more physical. We have to have the identity of physicality.
Yeah.
And if we ever get there, then I'll lighten up practice. And then look at that team now. I mean, when we took over that team, they were trash. Now they're, one of the more physically imposing teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep. Next up, let's hear from Arden real quick. Him talking about, we haven't really talked about this at all. There's 4 games left for these seniors, really. As sad as that might be, I mean, that's just where we're at in this season. So here's Arden. I think you asked him this question, Scotty. I think this might be one of the first times Arden's really thought about it. You can see the reaction on his face. So here's Arden talking about his final month here at CU.
And as a senior, with 4, maybe 5 games left, if you guys do what y'all want to do, how much of a sense of urgency do you kind of feel personally to make this last month, count?
I mean, we got to get to 6 wins. Really, that's the bowl eligible number. So that's why I've been preaching to a lot of guys in the locker room. Like, we got to get there. And so for us to play in December, got to continue to make sure we can get wins. Like, we got 3 wins we need to get, and they're pretty crucial. So I think in terms of me, like, the trajectory where I'm trying to go, where I'm trying to be, like, yes, I have a few games left, so I want to make the most of my situation, if anything, because, like I said, the unknown's coming up pretty soon.
Tough time of year.
Totally. And it actually goes to something that Akib said on our podcast, which was reset the goals and then remind these guys that, like, hey, like, yes, you're playing for the team, but you're also playing for yourself. Mm-hmm. Whether you're playing for your position on the depth chart next year, whether you're playing to put on tape for other coaches that you may, if you're going to enter the transfer portal,
Thanks.
Whether you're playing for your NFL future, everyone has something to play for. And not to mention a bowl game is still on the table, so you shouldn't even have to pull that card out yet. But I do think after a game like that, you do need to remind everyone that, like, there's still a lot at stake here for every one of us. And I think Arden kind of pointed to that.
Well, and to go back to what we talked about in the first segment with Julian too, and we talked about this yesterday, how you can kind of reset the season, especially after a game like that, and considering the fact that the Big 12 title is long gone at this point, reset the season. I mean, you have 4 games left. You need to win 3 of them to get to where you want to go to play a bowl game. And if you have Julian come in with that too, I mean, what better way to get a spark and truly, like, all right, this is like kind of let's restart this thing type of, motivation from the coaching staff,
Totally.
I just hope that message that Arden kind of shared there is permeated throughout the rest of that team, and particularly those seniors, because this is a really senior-led team, a lot of grad transfers. That was part of my reasoning behind asking Arden that, like, making sure, like, I know he knows this, but, like, the clock is running out. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I personally have experienced that at the high school level, at the college level as well, knowing that the end of the road is near and you just got a few opportunities left. And hopefully, especially after what we saw Saturday, this senior class, like, played like their time is almost up. Mm-hmm. And because that's when you see the fire, the grit that I think has been missing sometimes, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Even on the offensive side of the ball, like there are a lot of seniors, grad transfers on this offensive line, particularly starting on Colorado.
One of the oldest teams in the country.
Exactly. And you got to start seeing that, fighting these last 4 weeks, particularly to get to bowl eligibility, but also for your future. Arden trying to get to the league. Mm-hmm. And this hasn't been the season that he's wanted, but there's still plenty of opportunity for him to put out good tape and improve his draft stock. That's something you talk about too. Those are his 2 goals right now. Yep. Get the bowl eligibility, improve my draft stock. That should be number 1 and number 2 for all of those guys who are draft eligible right now.
Yep.
Because, and he mentioned it a couple of times, Arden did, team success is going to help him. And Coach Prime talks about that all the time, and it's exactly right. Like, don't nobody really want, talking about the NFL, somebody from a 3-9 football team or, 4-8 football team. Like, they want winners. And that obviously comes with the whole evaluation process. So I like to hear that from Arden. I know that his head is in a good spot. So I'm excited to see him kind of bounce back this weekend. That defense as a whole, really.
For sure. Let's take our next break, and then we'll pick up with press conferences. Shout out to the homies over at
Common Spirit, man. Shout out to Common Spirit Health, man. They are more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and they're expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. Whether you're looking for a routine checkup, whether you're managing a chronic condition, or maybe even responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Shout out to Common Spirit.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Monarch Money. I mean, you should always be trying to save money year round, but
Always.
man, this is the time. If you need any help in terms of saving money or your finances, our friends at Monarch Money are the go-tos, and we love them here at DNVR because it's just a super easy and good platform that just lays everything out, your investments, your accounts, credit cards, where your money's coming in from, where it's all going, breaking it down so that you know how you can pinch a couple pennies and maybe pass over a few dollars with the holidays and all that coming up. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal, and it's Forbes' best app for couples. As you know, money is the number one reasons why relationships can fall apart, so don't let that happen to you. And don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR. All right, getting back to press conferences. It's a different challenge for the Buffs this week against Arizona. We'll get into the scouting of them tomorrow and watch all the tape and stuff, but this is a team that plays a lot of 11 personnel. Noah Fifita is one of the better quarterbacks in this conference. I think he's really grown in terms of his confidence over the last year. You can just see him. He's seen the field a lot better. He's taken off and running. Yeah. But another player to look out for is Ismail Mahdi, the running back. And George Helow kind of spoke about him in this clip. And then on the other side, I mean, it's Keaton Wade. Keaton Wade, this was his breakout game last year against Arizona. So here's George Helow and Keaton Wade on what the Wildcats bring to the table.
We can't let him bounce up to the second level and get on the edge. The guy's really fast. He's a 5'9.5", 185-pound back. When he was at Texas State, he had multiple 1,000-yard rushes, rushing seasons back to back. So anybody that has that type of success at any level is a really good football player, and he's been able to play well as he's moved to the Power 4. So we've got to secure the edges. We got to make them run, north and south, put hats on them, gang tackle them. Open field tackling is a big thing. Got to get them on the ground. Got to take good angles to the football. But we got a lot of respect for Arizona and what they do. Same thing for the quarterback, right? He's a 5'10" guy. He'll make you miss. We've got to be good on our edge mechanics. He'll look to scramble. He keeps his eyes downfield, does a good job, looks to throw the ball. So you got to tackle a guy like that like a running back, because he's going to give you a head fake and make you miss. We've been working on it. We're excited about the opportunity, looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Just knowing that I got after that QB last year just helps my confidence be out there, that I know I can make plays versus these teams, and I know I can do me.
I mean, we need whatever we can get this weekend, obviously, after last week. So if Keaton can, if it's just the memories or summoning the energy from this game last year, we're going to need that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think from a scheme standpoint, you match up much better.
Yes.
So that will help. But Noah Fifita can definitely sling the rock. I don't know if he's one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, but I think he's one of the best passers in the conference.
Okay.
And if he's clean and protected and all of that lines up, he's going to complete passes.
Yep.
And so that's going to be the challenge for them. But Keaton Wade getting after the passer, or anyone getting after the passer, they're going to have a lot more opportunities to do that this week than they did last week. So hopefully they're able to get back there.
And you're not going to play 2 first-round tackles
Right.
this next week.
Yeah. You gotta earn the right to rush the passer this weekend, though, because if you allow Arizona to run the football, they will do it. Their running back, who you just mentioned before, that we heard that sound, is a really good player. He's had a really good season. He is explosive. He could take a 4-yard, what looks like a 4-yard run to the crib. He's got speed. He's kind of tough to tackle. And this offense is, engineered by Noah Fifita at quarterback for sure. But again, if they get into a situation where they feel like they can just run it, especially after what they saw on tape last week. They're going to take advantage of that, and that's going to make Noah Fafita's job even easier. That's going to make the play action passing game for Arizona that much more dynamic. So I agree. The scheme-wise, with the 11 personnel, with their propensity to throw the football and get the receivers involved, it does kind of fit Colorado's defense a little bit better, especially with Preston Hodge playing better football here the last couple of weeks. But, Keaton Wade getting 2 sacks last year was a different team. But I think that confidence that he might have built last year, as you said, in his breakout pretty much, hopefully kind of bleeds into a little bit of this weekend as well, because whether it's Arden, whether it's Keaton, whether it's either the true freshman edges, Noah Fafita got to feel some pressure this weekend. So that's what it's going to come down to. This Arizona defense is really good, and Colorado's defense is going to have to maybe carry the torch a little bit this week, especially if it's Julian Lewis making his first career start. His defense is going to have to show up and maybe give some short fields to this offense, create a turnover or two. Just a lot different than what we saw last week.
See, though, I think if Juju gets to start, he's going to be able to move the ball in this defense.
I agree.
Okay.
And just really open. To me, you'd actually be going back to Pat Shurmur's comfort zone of spreading it out and throwing the rock.
Yeah.
Which clearly, it wasn't perfect last year, but it was a lot better than this year. And obviously, Shedeur and Travis had a lot to do with that. But from a pure play calling standpoint, it was a lot cleaner last year, I thought.
That's crazy. Northside is mentioning my college head coach, NDSU's OC. That's crazy. It's my guy.
We'll get to all
Coach
that when
Larson.
we get to that.
Did he get promoted this year?
Yeah.
Damn, he's on the climb.
Yeah, he is. That's a future head coach again. He obviously was one before, but he's going to be a head coach again soon.
So especially why I think Julian can help out this team and why he needs to be the quarterback this week. And I talked about it yesterday. The 3 and outs for this offense are absolutely killing this team. And it's killing the defense. Yes, I know the defense is the ones on the field giving up the yards and the touchdowns, but when the offense is only averaging, 115 a drive in terms of time of possession?
Yeah.
And they're punting 3 and out 8+ times per game, that helps no defense. No defense. You could put the 2015 Broncos out there. That will not help them.
A minute 43 average time of possession last week. Man. 15 drives, 7 of them are 3 and outs.
And again, this team is built to kind of have, I think, almost any archetype at quarterback. You tried the dual threat in Caden Salter, and it didn't work out for a lot of reasons, but you can get into more of the play action game. You can get, if he's comfortable with it, in the more traditional running from under center, so that these running backs have a lane to go down as opposed to always out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
I think Julian can thrive in the RPO game. I just think that he's a better all-around fit to complement what Pat wants to do on offense and what this offense has in terms of receivers and skill sets.
Agreed.
Last clip from Pressers. Here's Coach Helow on Quincy Wiggins. We heard a lot about Quincy Wiggins coming into the season, clearly. He didn't play a lot on the edge, and he has been playing in spots this year, but this is what Coach Helow had to say about Quincy so far.
No, he's done good. We've moved him from inside, and he's been playing a lot on third down. He's had a good third down role for us this year. He's done a good job. He's also, we're down numbers in a lot of positions, as you know, across our front. We're not making excuses, next man mentality. So Quincy started off the year on the edge, and we've moved him inside. He's been gaining weight, and he's embraced the role that he's got at the 3 technique right now.
This is the issue with the defense, and it happened a month ago, and we talked about it, and it was on the injury report for everyone to see that your defensive tackles were just going down. You did not have the depth at that position. You've had to move Brandon Davis-Swain, who, again, started off at edge, to inside. Now you've had to move Quincy inside. He's talking about adding weight. Obviously, it's middle of the season. Nothing's really going to happen there, but this is just what you have to do. Honestly, there's no other options in terms of players on that defensive line unless you literally start asking Christian Hudson, a true freshman, to step up, which I don't think he's ready for, playing, 3 tech against the Big 12's offensive lines at this point. or you're getting guys who are, walk on / like end of the roster, or you're grabbing offensive linemen and putting them on the other side. That's where they're at right now. That's why the defensive line can't stop the run.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple guys healthy.
For sure, yes. Amari's still there, a few of them.
Yes. Taufik played last week.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, they are incredibly thin at that position right now, and it's just a shame. It's one of those things that sometimes in football you get snake bit at a very specific position with your injury bug, and that's where they're at. So, obviously, it doesn't help that Jaheim Otis didn't necessarily pan out there. Like,
right.
Some of the plans for what they were going to do didn't work.
Yep.
Yeah. And you mentioned Amari. He played a season low, only 8 snaps against Utah on Saturday. I don't know if that was an injury thing.
I don't know.
I don't know. Right. For a thin defensive line, for him to only play 8 snaps. I mean, your best healthy interior defensive lineman only play 8 snaps. Quincy has played exactly 16 snaps for 3 straight games now.
That's his high on the season, too.
Right.
16 snaps.
So you're thin. You lost, obviously, Tavian Coleman underwent surgery. Gabriel Lightfoot underwent surgery. Taufik Thomas has been in and out of the lineup. Torian Carter, I think, who we saw on Saturday, maybe for the first time, or at least
he was dressed.
The most we saw him. He has been injured throughout the year as well, and Quinn's been banged up. Jaheim has been banged up and has just not really given you what you might have expected after he was so highly touted in the transfer portal by outlets like ESPN and others. This is sometimes what happens, and it's just a shame because I spent a lot of time talking about how this defensive line this offseason appeared to be the deepest position group on this football team. But injuries and just a lack of execution have really made that not be the case. Honestly, the opposite be the case, because particularly over the last, let's call it a month or so, this defensive line has really been letting this defense down. But again, it's kind of what happens sometimes with injuries.
Yep.
You can't control it, but it's next man up, and we'll see what Quincy looks like as he continues to get more comfortable on the interior and that 3 technique. And hopefully we'll get some guys back this week, and we'll check out the injury report, the first one of the week for this weekend's game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of depth, I don't know what happened with Amari. He gave you 8 snaps. You had Christian Hudson. He gave you 1 snap. Torian Carter gave you 4 snaps. Taufik Thomas comes back from injury. He gives you the most snaps of anyone on the defensive line.
Yeah.
That's just where they're at right now. It's just a tough reality of the game. As you said, sometimes you just get snake bit at a position, and you just have to hold on for dear life at that point.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anything else from pressers, Scotty, that you wanted to mention?
I think we got it all.
All right, let's take our final break and shout out the homies over at Taco Bell. Falls upon us. It's just perfect Taco Bell weather. You got all the sports going on, man. I mean, they're open late. Just the go-to. And for a limited time, you can get Taco Bell's new Flamin' Hot Frito grilled cheese burrito. RK's a big fan of the grilled cheese burritos, and really just nothing misses at Taco Bell, honestly. Get that. Get the Buffs box. They got the Decades menu, all kinds of stuff, so check it out. With that Buffs box, it's 4 Taco Bell classics and a player collectible cup for only $7 to satisfy your Taco Bell cravings. It's the best deal in all of Colorado. Also, Taco Bell is a proud partner of CU Athletics and is donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Foundation for every CU touchdown scored this season. Let's hope we see a lot more this weekend and get to let's try and get to the Diablo level on the touchdown meter. We have to at some point this year.
How many more for that? 7?
Quite a few. Okay. Quite a few. Liv Moss at Taco Bell.
And shout out to the squad over at Toyota. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Y'all already know that by now. But did you know that for generations, Toyota has been building just durable legends destined for greatness and just perfect for the beautiful state of Colorado? Whether you're on some of those off-road trails, hauling the weight of the world, there is a Toyota truck that's just right for you. Maybe it's even the all-new 2025 Tacoma or the return of the 2025 Land Cruiser, which both are just absolutely iconic vehicles. There's 17 different models available, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like that epic 4Runner, which I personally love, man. And in total, there are 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, including that Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Shout out to Toyota.
Shout out to him.
Most def. Anything else before we get to fill in the blank?
I'm trying to fill in the blank, broski.
Let's do it. This is Big 12 and college football related. First one. I already know Scotty's pick for this. What?
You just sound so excited about this.
I'm just waiting for the graphic. My pick for the Big 12 champion right now would be...
How do you know my answer?
Because you've said it like twice, bro. You said it on this show yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you know mine too.
What's yours?
BYU. BYU is a team of destiny right now. And they're, in my opinion, the most well-coached team in the conference. And sometimes that just results in luck for you. And a lot of things are bouncing their way. Bear Bachmeier is improving on the job, which is a scary thought considering they're undefeated anyway.
Yeah.
With him having to learn on the job, but every time I watch him, he gets a little bit better. So, yeah, I got BYU. I think they're just going to keep finding ways to win.
Well, you know my answer, right?
Are you going to say it or are you going to make me say it?
Yeah, I mean, I picked BYU, or I said the other day that I think BYU would be my pick right now. They just seem like a team who has rallied around their true freshman quarterback. And it seems like a team who is doing more to compensate for the inexperience that their quarterback might have. And they really don't even need to do all that because the true freshman quarterback can play. Bear can play. They're a well-balanced team. They're a strong physical team, particularly on defense. They take the ball away. They take care of the football. Something Bear doesn't do is give the football away. So I think BYU is looking like the pick right now. Who you got, Jake?
I'm not done with Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that their edge rushers, their pass rush defensive line is going to kind of help them in a lot of these games too.
I think even if their offense takes a step back
with Morton, yeah, sure.
defense is more than capable of carrying the load.
And
Now what, though? Because Hammond's out for the season.
Yeah.
Morton's been banged up all year.
Should be good now, though, it seems like. It sounds like.
What was his injury most recently?
I think it was a ankle. I don't think it was a hamstring.
I don't know
or
exactly.
anything.
I was just gonna say, so what if his ankle gets twisted up this week?
Yeah, no, it's valid.
Well, I'd just give it to Dickey anyway because that guy is one of the best running backs in this conference. So
Okay.
I think what Dickey does running the ball and what this defensive line can do, just getting after the passer and creating havoc, is going to be enough. That's just like the prototype to winning these like close grinded out games in November. And Texas Tech has some big games on the schedule coming up, so they'll prove it on the field too if they get there.
Yeah.
Joey McGuire said that Morton was healthy enough to play against Oklahoma State, and he could have played the week before against Arizona State if it were later in the year. But yeah, sounds like he's fully healthy now.
So we'll see. Injury report comes out today.
Sounds to me like he lost his job.
Yeah.
All right, this is Buffs related. Blank is the position that needs to be addressed the most this upcoming offseason. Which position are you putting number one in your priorities list?
Linebacker. Linebacker has to be addressed, man. You have to have a difference maker. At least one. Preferably two. You got to have at least one at that second level of the defense. And it's, we talked about earlier, like this team has to start building like a physical identity. And I can't think of a more physical player position. I mean, I guess maybe if you want to call it D-line, but linebacker really sets the tone a lot of times. We saw it last year. Nakai Hill-Green was a difference maker in the middle of that defense, and Levante Bentley wasn't far behind in terms of his impact. So I think linebacker is the one that immediately stands out to me.
Yeah, linebacker works in close concert with where I would go, which is interior defensive line.
That's what I would have said.
The same way that you feel about Nakai, I feel that way about Black Boley. Yeah. And so the combination of the loss of both of those and Levante Bentley is really being felt this year. We're not controlling the line of scrimmage at all.
It's exactly what I was going to say. You're just missing that greatly. And I'm sure they planned on, Jaheim or Anquin to break out and kind of fill that role, but they desperately missed Chidozie Nwankwo, who was one of the most, at times, the most like heralded transfer, and at times one of the most underrated transfers, especially when he was hurt. Like you felt that impact coming back to UCF. So
and I'll just throw in corner because I think that a coach prime team always needs to have elite corners.
Yeah.
That should be like a pillar of the program.
Agreed.
And, like we are talking about it on Broncos all week with Pat Surtain going down. It's like you can actually build your defense around a one true lockdown corner.
For sure.
Yeah.
You should go funnel everything away from them pretty much.
Yes, exactly. And so it feels like that could and should be a staple of a coach prime defense.
Yep.
I just
100%.
typed in Baron Morton's name on Twitter to find his status, and this banger tweet from you came up from last year when they tried Travis, and Travis made that almost ridiculous interception.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was a flag,
right?
Yeah. Wait, go back. Can we go back to the last question?
Just the position.
The fill in the blank.
The position that you think needs to be addressed the most this offseason.
Offensive coordinator.
I mean, of course.
Got to be addressed.
We'll talk about that when we get there, though.
Has to be addressed.
If we get there. Next one. The hot seat. It's very hot for a lot of people right now. And the LSU or the Louisiana governor is basically saying that the LSU AD is not going to pick the next head coach.
First of all, how does he have any jurisdiction over that? Second of all, you got to fire that guy.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
This is the guy who gave Jimbo Fisher that ridiculous contract at A&M and then Brian Kelly that ridiculous contract at LSU. That dude is responsible for people getting paid like $400 million.
Not for real.
Yep.
So anyways, the current hottest seat.
Yes. Fill in the blank. Who you got?
It's going to take me a second to think about.
So I'll throw out some names.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brian Kelly is gone, but Mike Norvell, I think, is someone who is going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
What's their record?
I feel like they haven't won in a minute.
Yeah, they like had that Alabama thing, which kind of got everyone off their backs for a minute.
Yep.
And then they just kind of.
Florida State right now is 3-4, 0-4 in the ACC.
He gone.
Yeah. Luke Fickell is someone who is his seat is heating up. Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Answer, bro. Luke Fickell has, I don't know what he has done to Wisconsin. And again, I grew up a Wisconsin football fan as a kid because, whatever. But that was a program.
Northwestern was irrelevant.
Exactly right. We didn't really have, in the Illini was there, but I don't know. Anyway, Wisconsin was like a perennial good football team. Like never really had, they weren't in the playoffs, but like this was a perennial 8-9 win team, respectable in the Big Ten program with a couple of like pop off years. But now this is like a bottom of the barrel Big Ten team. Yep. And Luke Fickell was brought to Wisconsin to try to help Wisconsin take the next step. And he has done quite the opposite.
That next step higher almost never works.
I mean, hiring a guy from Cincinnati to help your Big Ten program take the next step doesn't really make sense.
But like, watch what happens with Penn State. They're gonna do the same shit.
Yeah, Cornhole's absolutely right. Fickell has done nothing but strip their identity. Like Wisconsin used to have an identity.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The jump around, that was a tough place to play. They're gonna run the football right down your throat. And
the amount of great running backs. That
yes, it was year after year.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like Brett Bielema was like going crazy at Illinois.
And that's the biggest even.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Punch in the gut is that you let that guy go and now he's at Illinois
But
doing what he used to be doing at Wisconsin.
But this is why 8 to 10 win programs have to just understand that they're 8 to 10 win programs.
It's true. It's true.
But they're never going to.
They're never going to, but I'm just saying, like, it just find me the last time that a team was like, this 8 to 10 win shit just isn't good enough for us. We're firing the coach who keeps doing it, and then ended up winning a national championship because of it.
I will say Wisconsin did have the benefit of having the weaker Big Ten division for 10 plus years or whatever.
That's fair.
That being said, though, I think you got to go to Hugh Freeze and Auburn.
I'm really shocked he hasn't been fired yet.
Really quick, I think it's one of the weirdest things about Chicago, and I love Chicago, that just everyone just picks a Big Ten team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
Or Notre Dame.
Yeah, or Notre Dame, which is like a glorified Big Ten team anyway.
Low key.
That's so odd to me. It doesn't have like it's a giant city that doesn't have a team.
Because like you said, Northwestern has negative aura.
Yep.
Illinois is just too far away from the city. Like Champaign is far as hell away from.
Right.
Too far for anybody actually in the city of Chicago to care about. And the actual universities in the city are just irrelevant, like UIC and Chicago State. Like it's just,
weird.
Dave Aranda, I think, is a good one too.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can't make it work with Sawyer Robertson in this backfield that he has right now, I don't know what else they need to get to where they were even last year. Honestly, he's supposed to be a defensive guy. You have one of, if not the best quarterback in the conference.
Do you remember that headline that came out right before the season? It was like the biggest recruiting rivalry in the Big 12 right now. And it was Baylor and Texas Tech.
No, that's crazy. Though.
It was like an on-3 thing, and it was like, yeah,
geez.
that's not the case anymore.
Honor the Family said, "Are we an 8 to 10 win program?" I fucking wish so badly. I would kill to be Penn State, and constantly be dreaming of the one year we might actually get over the hump, and then just winning big games every year and having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'd throw Bill Belichick's name out there too.
For sure.
I mean, you almost have to fire him.
They're so just hamstrung by these contracts, though. Him and Lombardi. Lombardi's the highest paid GM in college football.
Disgusting.
He's
foul.
such a fraud.
That's foul.
Pablo Torre had another podcast on Michael Lombardi specifically and basically how much of a fraud he is. It's insane. Go check it out.
But like, you're just gonna let him do it again next year?
I guess.
Ugh.
I could throw out another name, I think.
Who?
Believe his first name Frank Beamer at South Carolina.
Yes. Or no, he's Shane.
Shane Beamer.
It's Shane
Yes.
Beamer, okay.
His dad was Frank.
Yeah, his dad was Frank.
He might be on the hot seat as well because South Carolina had legitimate expectations coming in. Like you had what some people thought was a Heisman contending quarterback. You are 0-4 in the SEC this year, tied with Mississippi State and Kentucky. You're, what's on the season? 3-5 on the season. Again, with those expectations, and could be getting late quick down there in South Carolina as well for Coach Beamer.
Next one. Think Arizona State here from last year. The team with the best chance to wreck the Big 12 championship picture is blank. So going through the standings, about half the conference is still really in play, especially if BYU and Cincinnati at the top start losing. So teams with 2 losses.
They're not going to start losing.
Huh?
Cincinnati might. No one respects Cincinnati. Maybe I'm going to be the first Cincinnati respecter.
I kind of respect them.
I mean, no one respects them. Like, no one's talking about them anywhere.
17th team,
They're a
17th ranked team in the country.
10-point underdog this weekend against Utah. 10.5-point underdog this weekend. Cincinnati is against Utah.
Wow, picks will be fun tomorrow.
So teams with 2 losses in this conference are TCU, K-State, ASU, Utah. Your 1-loss teams are Houston and Texas Tech, and then BYU and Cincy sit at the top.
So you don't want to include a 1-loss team in this? Because I think the actual right answers would be Cincinnati and Houston.
Cincinnati's undefeated right now.
But I think to your point, nobody's really respecting them though. But I hear you. If it's the 2-loss teams, I think it's Utah still.
But I need to know who everyone plays. Like, does BYU have to play Houston or something? No. BYU plays Cincinnati, so one of them is going to end out with a loss.
And Tech.
Um,
And TCU.
Yeah, TCU's still not dead either. I think Utah would be my pick though, of the 2-loss teams of the 4.
So ESPN power ranked Utah as the best team in the conference.
I saw that.
Houston kind of has a cakewalk to the end of the season.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Yeah.
But they're not like, what was the question again? To blow up the Big 12 picture or whatever?
Yeah, just to wreck the championship picture as it stands right now.
So Houston isn't the one because they'll be the beneficiary of someone else wrecking it. Houston might actually find themselves
Yeah,
in
they
the
might
Big
just
12
walk into
championship
it.
game because chaos happens all around them.
So they by far have the easiest slate. They've got West Virginia at UCF, TCU, and Baylor. Meanwhile, TCU, I think, might have the hardest stretch. They've got Iowa State this weekend or next weekend. They're on a bye. Then they have at BYU, at Houston, at home versus Cincy.
Who's that?
TCU.
This is TCU.
Well, TCU's dead anyway.
No, they're not.
I mean, they're dead to me.
Okay.
Utah's finish is Cincy this week, which is obviously a big game.
Dude, this is the problem with these freaking 16-team conferences.
Yes, 100%.
All of the teams that are in this aren't
playing the teams
playing each other.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Blame USC and UCLA.
I do blame them.
Bro, that Cincy Utah game this weekend is massive.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
can't believe it's a 10
that's
and a half
probably the
point line.
first step
Yeah.
in this whole thing turning into mass chaos. There will probably once again be a 4-way tie for second place.
Yep.
Well, I think this week, because isn't BYU, Texas Tech also playing each other this week?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are probably the only two games where we're going to get, like, contenders playing each other, it seems like, this season.
Kansas State gets Texas. So they're on bye this week? No, wait. Kansas State plays Texas Tech this week.
So then.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Whoever's BYU.
Oh, I've got Kansas State. Kansas State is the team who can throw a wrench into the gears. They get Texas Tech and Utah.
I do not believe in them.
I don't either, but they're a good candidate for this. They're
And that'd be the most ASU like out of nowhere team.
yeah, and they feel more. And I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm just saying they're going to wreak havoc.
Gee, they've won 3 of their last 4 quietly.
I know they're they're like the Kansas of this year.
Yeah.
Last one. Fill in the blank. Who's your pre-November Heisman pick? We're coming down to the final stretch.
Marcel Reed.
Whoa.
It's a very popular pick right now. Leaders in the clubhouse in terms of odds, depending on where you look, are Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson.
Ugh. Where's Travis Hunter when you need him to make the Heisman race exciting?
Yeah.
I like Marcel Reed a lot, man. That A&M offense is so fun, man. I mean, they are clearly the best team in the SEC right now, right?
One of them. Ole Miss.
And honestly, fair. Trinidad Chambliss would be the second name I give.
Chambliss is sick.
Yep.
I'll take Mendoza.
I'm taking Diego Pavia.
Nice. He's got the best brand.
He's
He
got
ain't really
Johnny
been
Manziel campaigning for him.
He just
What do you
ain't really
mean?
been lighting it up the last, 2 weeks.
Yeah, last week
He doesn't
was
need
like,
to.
What was he last week? I think he had like 13 completions.
Yeah.
I mean, they won 17-10, but they've got a big game at Texas this week. And they've got a big game at Tennessee to end the season too. They've got Auburn and Kentucky in between. I just think that Vanderbilt needs to win. Like he's just the poster boy for that program. Like Vanderbilt wins, it's all because of Pavia. He's going to get all the credit.
Fair enough. I mean, if they win out, he's going to be in New York.
Yes.
I think he's going to be in New York very likely no matter what because he's...
Their schedule down the stretch is brutal, though.
Yeah. He's just a name that people know. Whereas like, I don't know, like Diego Pavia's brand is so much bigger than Fernando Mendoza's.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%. It's not even close.
We picking that game tomorrow?
Maybe. We'll see.
Who does Indiana... What?
Vandy's got Texas.
When do Indiana and Ohio State play?
I don't know.
I'll let you know. Ohio State got Penn State this weekend. They do not play.
What is that?
So Indiana's got at Maryland, at Penn State versus Wisconsin, at Purdue.
Cake.
So they're... What? So they're going undefeated?
Probably. Probably. And Ohio State is also undefeated in the conference right now. They, of course, have Michigan to end the year, but that's really it. I mean, unless you count a home game against UCLA. They got Rutgers and Purdue as well.
Yep. See them boys in the title game.
But, Oregon, USC, Michigan, Iowa, they're not dead yet. They all have one loss.
Yeah, I'm taking Mendoza.
Okay. All right.
You said Pavia.
Let's get the Super Chats to get out of here. Shout out to Mitchell for the Super Chat and for becoming a member as
Hell
well.
yeah, Mitchell.
Appreciate you, homie.
Appreciate you.
What's up, Heaven's Demon? He says, Scotty, I need to apologize. I got butthurt at you when you didn't pick CU to win in the Big 12 in the beginning of the season. I was wrong. We appreciate you, Heaven's Demon.
Appreciate you, Heaven's Demon. You weren't the only one, brother.
Is he forgiven?
All good. Huh?
I said, is he forgiven?
Right.
All right, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to scout you Arizona and pick games. So you know the drill by now.
Can't wait for picks.
Me either.
We're going to do Know Your Enemy right now as well. So you'll have that in your podcast feed or on the YouTube feed very, very shortly. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.